The main story of James Madison and the Democratic Republicans in 1810 revolves around the negative, manipulative, and economically destructive consequences of their trade policy, most notably Macon's Bill No. 2, a legislative act that saw the party flip-flop from principles of commercial restraint to an opportunistic and ill-fated gambit. The Democratic Republicans, under Madison and his predecessor Thomas Jefferson, had been fervent believers in peaceable coercion, a high-minded but disastrous economic warfare strategy. This began with the Embargo Act of 1807, which completely banned all foreign trade, a move that severely crippled the American economy, particularly in the Federalist-leaning New England states, causing mass financial hardship and civil disobedience. The party had been steadfastly committed to this extreme measure as an ethical alternative to war. However, by 1810, the ongoing suffering and widespread smuggling proved their moralizing economic strategy had failed. This led to the first major flip-flop, the repeal of the full embargo and its replacement with the weaker Non-Intercourse Act in 1809, which only banned trade with Britain and France. When the Non-Intercourse Act also failed to sway the European powers, the party executed a second, even more ethically and politically damaging flip-flop in May 1810 by passing Macon's Bill No. 2. This bill represented a complete and cynical abandonment of their original principle of economic restraint. It immediately threw open trade with both Britain and France, appearing to signal a surrender to the pressures of war and commerce. The manipulative, immoral core of the bill, however, was its secret clause. The U.S. would reimpose an embargo against whichever nation failed to stop seizing American ships, provided the other nation did. The party was essentially offering a bribe, exclusive trade, to pit the two warring European powers against each other. The negative and unethical consequences were immediate. Napoleon Bonaparte of France, a master manipulator, immediately seized the opportunity. He sent a conditional and intentionally vague message, the Cador Letter, suggesting he would lift the French decrees, a promise Madison, suspicious but desperate, chose to accept. This forced the third major flip-flop of the year. Madison declared that trade with Britain would be cut off again in early 1811, effectively making the U.S. an unwitting ally in Napoleon's economic war against Britain. This action, born of manipulation and political desperation, was a direct cause of the ensuing War of 1812, resulting in years of bloodshed, the burning of the Capitol, and a national debt, all because the Democratic-Republican Party had chosen to repeatedly abandon its stated principles in a series of failed attempts to secure neutral rights. The entire episode demonstrated how a political party's high moral rhetoric about peaceable coercion could degrade into ineffective, self-defeating, and nationally compromising policy through constant, desperate reversals.